This instructional video is intended to visually introduce you to your Bonfit Patterner and how it works. The examples demonstrated correspond with the first examples shown in the corresponding chapter in your Bonfit instruction book. In this video, we show you all the steps required to draft the pattern. Sewing steps can be found in both the Patterner instruction book and your Bonfit Fashion Sewing book. Many other designs, design considerations, and techniques can be found in the clearly illustrated books that accompany the product. We will draft the pattern on pattern paper, but you may draft it directly onto fabric as your confidence increases. Welcome to the wonderful, fashion-filled world of Bonfit. You will soon see just how quick, easy, and fun it is to explore your own creativity to create the wardrobe of your dreams with a perfect fit using your Bonfit pattern drafting system. The measurement chart in your instruction book shows you how to measure yourself correctly, which is the key to perfect fitting patterns. The Bodice and Advanced Bodice Patterner. Your Bodice and Advanced Bodice kits include a variety of sleeve templates and collar templates, 3 front panels, a back sleeve panel, a lapel, a button stand, and other accent pieces. We're going to show you how to use your bodice patterner to make this versatile blouse with shirt collar and button opening. However, any style is possible with Bonfit, as shown in the Bonfit instruction and design books. The design possibilities are endless with Bonfit. Before setting your patterner, select the design and details you want. The design details we need to plan in this example are the neckline and neckline detail. You'll need your bodice base panel with waist panel attached. The blouse has a traditional shirt collar with stand, so we need our Bonfit shirt collar and collar stand, which will be sewn to the jewel neckline. You will also need your back neckline adapter marked A. The sleeve type. The blouse has a fitted long sleeve narrowed at the wrist with a cuff, so you will need your front and back sleeves, as well as your basic sleeve template and cuff piece. And the bodice opening. The blouse has a button opening in the front, so you'll need the button stand with an attached facing. You'll need approximately 1.5 yards of woven fabric and some interfacing. We're going to draft the pattern onto paper so that it may be saved for future use. Remove these 2 knobs and replace your back sleeve panel with your front sleeve panel, and replace the knobs. To set the front sleeve panel, loosen these 2 knobs and slide the sleeve panel to the left. Your bust measurements are reflected here on your basic block. Slide the sleeve panel to the right, aligning this edge with your bust measurement, in this case 39.5 inches, and tighten the knobs. We need to set the blouse length by aligning the waist panel with this line of measurements. This line is used if our blouse had a waist dart. Loosen these 2 knobs and slide the panel up or down until the desired garment length, in this case 23 inches, is in line with this edge. Tighten the knobs. Then trace from the front hemline indicator up center front, around the neckline, across the shoulder, and down to the armhole. You can choose from any of these 3 armhole openings. Take your tape measure and measure along the drawn shoulder width and mark at your actual shoulder width measurement. If different, pivot the patterner from here to the mark and retrace the armhole. Loosen these 2 knobs and slide the waist panel to the left, aligning this edge with your bust measurement, reflected here. And tighten the knobs. If additional hip width is required, loosen this knob and slide the hip enlarger panel out the required amount. Draw down the side seam and mark in the front hemline. Now let's draw in our button stand and attached facing by placing our button stand on our bodice center front and tracing along the neckline, down the side, and to the hemline. Then add approximately 2.5 inches of width to the button stand to serve as an attached facing. Mark button spacing as desired on the center front line. This is your button stand, and this is your attached facing. We have now completed the front of the bodice. To draw the bodice back, remove these two knobs and replace the front sleeve panel with the back sleeve panel. Then take your back neckline adapter A and insert it in the base panel here. Set your measurements. And draw around as for the front of the bodice, but use the lower hemline. And don't draw the button stand and facing. To draw our sleeves, measure the front and back armhole and add the measurements together plus 1 inch ease and record this measurement. Take the basic sleeve template and note the front and back sleeve labels. You can choose between these 3 guide sizes on the sleeve template. We'll use the medium size for a little more ease at the shoulder. The medium sleeve from corner to corner is 22 inches. Our total armhole measurement, including the ease we want, is 21 inches. So we'll narrow the sleeve by 1 inch at the cap by sliding the patterner to the left 1 inch and continuing to draw the sleeve cap. Draw in the 3 horizontal lines. Turn the sleeve template sideways and draw down the side. Place your tape measure in the middle of the sleeve cap and measure the length of the sleeve you desire, excluding the cuff. Slide the template up or down until the correct length is achieved. And complete this half of the sleeve. Then turn the template over and complete the sleeve. To narrow the sleeve at the wrist, in this case by 2 inches, measure 1 inch from the bottom of each sleeve toward the center and redraw the sides of the sleeve from the top sleeve corners to these marks at the wrist. Take your cuff template and draw a cuff the length of your wrist plus 2 inches, 1 inch for ease and 1 inch for the button extension. Mark in the fold line and buttonhole. Before drawing your collar and collar stand, measure and add together your back bodice neckline and your front bodice neckline, in this case 8 inches. Then measure 8 inches along the collar stand and mark this point. Draw the collar stand to the correct length and add the width of the button extension. Take your collar and trace it on these 3 sides. Check that your collar length from this point along the edge equals the total neckline length, in this case 8 inches, and complete the side. Remember to label your pattern pieces and the number of times they should be cut to avoid confusion when cutting and sewing. To join seams and finish hems, we need to add appropriate seam allowance around the pattern. As an example, take your tape measure and mark ½ inch away from the side seam and shoulder. Slide the patterner over and join the marks. This must be done around the edge of each pattern piece, except where pattern pieces would be placed on the fabric fold. This is your sew line. This is your seam allowance, and this is your cut line. In order to know where to join pattern pieces, we place notches on the pattern piece edges in places such as the button stand fold line and the front armhole. Cut out your pattern pieces. Fold your collar and collar stand pattern piece over before cutting, as they represent half of the collar and stand. Lay out your pre-shrunk, pre-pressed woven fabric onto your table, folding and matching salvage edges with the correct sides of the fabric facing each other. The salvage indicates the direction of the fabric grain. Place your sleeves, cuff, collar, stand, and bodice front onto the fabric in the direction of the fabric grain. Place the bodice back on the fold. Pin the pieces to the fabric. Cut out your pattern pieces and clip the fabric where you placed notch marks and remove the pins. Then take your cuff, button stand facing, and collar and stand and place on the folded interfacing. Pin and cut out. Complete cutting and you're ready to sew. To ensure continued success, just remember these 5 easy steps. Plan your design details. Set the front sleeve panel. Set the patterner length. Set the lower waist panel and draw the accent pieces. It's that easy. You've seen how simple Bonfit is, and we are confident that you will have years of pleasure as you explore the fun and fashion opportunities Bonfit will provide.